Looks like Hicks may be the one beginning things. And he is with the Temple of Epiphany. So we'll take a look at the top card here. And he'll stay on top for Hicks. Walker will take a draw step. He also has a Temple of Epiphany. He'll put his top card to the bottom, however. Hicks with the Plains. We'll see what the 2-drop is. It is Soulfire Grandmaster. You know, one thing we haven't seen a ton of, even though we've seen Jeskai this week, and we actually haven't seen much of the Jeskai mirror.
Correct.
So curious to see how Soulfire Grandmaster operates in this matchup. Curious to see how a card like Goblin Rabblemaster operates here. It's going to die to a Magma Spray. Got to get that thing off the battlefield if you can.
Very good discipline there by Walker. I think a lot of people would have had the instinct just to kill the Soulfire Grandmaster, but Walker respected the possibility of something like Goblin Rabblemaster, got to kill that. Very good tempo swing.
Temple Epiphany, top card goes to the bottom. You'll note that one thing Walker is missing right now is white mana. Hicks has all of his colors. Here's a Temple of Triumph. He'll scry once again. And this kind of Miser's copy of Whirling Outburst is actually going to be really good in the mirror.
Well, Whirling Outburst is one of the best cards you can have in any sort of red matchup, as all the tokens matter. It's hard for them to get invalidated, and it's 3 creatures.
Rabblemaster comes across here for Hicks. Walker with a mountain has to pass the turn back. Rabblemaster is going to make another Goblin token. We have not seen this sort of game from Rabblemaster in a long time because of what Hangerback Walker has done to the format. But Rabblemaster, as we know, runs away with things very quickly, and Walker is already conceding the game. Mana issues, yes, but Rabblemaster closes the door very, very quickly.
I appreciate Hicks going for broke there. Playing in a red mirror match probably would have been easy for a lot of players to make the conservative play of just casting Whirling Outburst, but suspected with Walker missing colored mana and having already used a Magma Spray that there was a good chance the second Rabblemaster was good. It was, and we're done real fast.
Yeah, when it's good, the game is over.
Yep.
Does not take very long at all. So Stephen Hicks will win game number 1 here over Noah Walker. Jeskai Agrimir goes to him thus far. Then we'll take a look at Walker's sideboard. 3 Irishan Clerics, 2 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Negates, 2 Stratus Dancers, 2 Anger of the Gods, a Tragic Arrogance, a Glare of Heresy, a Revoke Existence, and an Elspeth Sun's Champion.
I am a big fan of the copies of Stratus Dancer and Negate in this matchup. I think the 1 copy of Glare of Heresy is acceptable. Not a great removal spell, but I still think good enough to play. And I think the 1 copy of Elspeth Sun's Champion is solid in the matchup.
Take a look at Stephen Hicks' sideboard now.
2 Running Volley and Elspeth Sun's Champion, 2 Negates, 3 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Mastery of the Unseen, a Revoke Existence, a Glare of Heresy, 2 Anger of the Gods, and an Orb of Warding. I like the Elspeth, the Negates here, same way. I like Mastery of the Unseen in this matchup. I think it's pretty easy to slow the game down, use removal to trade off against threats and allow Mastery to do its thing. And the 2 copies of Running Volley, also good in this matchup. Efficient removal spell against almost all of Noah's threats, including Bramaz happens to be hanging out in his deck list this weekend.
Yeah, he's got the, actually it's a 2 of this weekend. I thought it was a 1 of, but 2 copies of Bramaz, a card that we have not seen very much of, oddly enough. You know, I do remember when Bramaz was spoiled, everyone was thinking this was one of the best cards in the set, and it turned out to be okay. I know that
I was not a Bramaz guy.
You were not a Bramaz guy. I will always remember that. You thought it was going to be kind of a sideboard option for players.
Yeah, so I was not fooled. Although Bramaz has shown up in Legacy, appears in Death and Taxes, good in that format because it can't be bolted. It's a lot of value for 1 creature. And I think a time will come where Bramaz is a player in Modern. Format slows down a little bit. Again, it's a lightning bolt removal format, so Bramaz has a shot there. But I was not optimistic of his chances to be a big standard player, and it will retire without much fanfare in the format.
You can go back and look at the tape. This is true. All
Yeah.
these things you felt. It looks like you were correct on about Bramaz.
I was a Hero's Downfall guy. I was not a Bramaz guy.
Nice. Nice.
Not a Bramaz guy.
Way to really take a stance there. Well, while these players will shuffle up here for game number 2, we will talk about the Battle for Zendikar pre-release with Star City Games at the Star City Game Center, September 26th and 27th. You pre-register today. You can come and get the Battle for Zendikar playmat.
And pre-registration is available right now online at starcitygames.com/pre-release. Pre-release will be occurring September 26th and 27th. If you want to get this playmat, head over to Roanoke, Virginia, play in the pre-release of the Star City Games headquarters. Whatever playmats are not given out at this event will go on the website Monday morning. So if you want to get your hands on this exclusive playmat, either head out to the Star City Games Center in Roanoke, Virginia, 26th and 27th for the Battle of Zendikar pre-release, or be on the website Monday morning to get whether copies of this playmat happen to be left over.
Battle for Zendikar, it is the playmat. It's pretty sweet. We got a giant, that's a Kraken for sure. It's not an octopus, it's got to be a Kraken.
Some narwhals.
Yep.
Flanking them.
Just they want the carrots. I understand.
I don't know if you can flank a sphere exactly because of Kraken's. It's a weird thing. Whatever. There's a lot of aquatic creatures. They look pretty threatening. Playmat sweet. Head over to the Star City Game Center, Roanoke, Virginia, for the Battle of Zendikar pre-release. You can pre-register right now. StarCityGames.com/pre-release.
Threatening and adorable
at the same time.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch, which is very important.
Very common of all of our creatures.
Indeed.
The right balance.
Noah Walker, a player that we're starting to see a little bit more in the Open Series, starting to have some more success as well. It does have an Open Series win this year. 4 Open Series top 8s for the 19-year-old from Amherst, Massachusetts. Claims to be amazing at Dance Dance Revolution.
I believe it.
I'm willing to believe it as well, only because I'm not good at it, so someone has to be good at it.
Right, and that's also not a claim that you want to make, I think, unless you can back it up, because there's the chance you could just get served.
However, a little fun fact about me. I know the Dance Dance Revolution former world champion.
Just name dropping now?
Oh, I will.
Just talking about the people we know?
Absolutely. His name is Kevin Bodie.
Okay.
Brother of Kyle Bodie, someone that we both know. Former Dance Dance Revolution world champion.
Okay.
Also, there's another game, I think it's called like In the Groove or something. There's he was really good at all of those dance games.
I've never heard you name drop like this before.
I'm just saying I'm just saying I know people who are good at things.
I also know famous people.
He's not famous. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's not famous. He's not famous.
The DDR world champion, which you brought up for 2 reasons. One, to denigrate Noah Walker's accomplishment of being very good at Dance Dance Revolution. And second, to sort of just brag about the famous people you know. Both of these
those are not my intentions either.
Unbecoming of a man of your stature.
Are you done?
Game 2 underway.
Are you done?
I gotta hop in.
You're gonna make fun of me and yell at me?
Didn't make fun of you. I said it was crass and unbecoming of you. It's a name drop. I know famous people too.
Do you?
I don't talk about all that.
I don't think that's true. Jay's Friends Prodigy here for Stephen Hicks. There is an island. This is a Mantis Rider. Noah Walker has white mana this game. Very helpful with his Jeskai deck. Jace will go active. So I guess the question now, and this should be kind of interesting, which is better, Jace or Mantis Rider?
Well, usually they both die pretty soon.
Yeah.
The game favors who's ever able to kill the other one's creature first.
Okay. Well, gonna kill that with Glare of Heresy. A mountain for Hicks, pass a turn back. Now, does Walker have an answer for Jace? Because you're gonna want to get that off the battlefield if you can. Mystic Monastery and pass the turn back. So it looks like the answer is no. There's a Plains. Hicks will activate Jace. Draw and discard. Well, don't need that backup, Jace.
And I like Hicks not making a move here, sitting on Ojutai's command instead of trying to cast the Mantis Rider.
Both these players have quite a few copies of Ojutai's command this weekend.
Hard to position yourself as the control deck if you're in Walker's spot here, facing down Jace.
So far, Grandmaster going to come back and draw a card. Hicks will draw. Battlefield Forge, the draw. A couple copies of Mantis Rider over there, too. Jace will go active.
Hicks looks very fluid in managing his resources. I don't think this is the first mirror match this man's played.
It doesn't seem that way. You have to imagine he's 9-1 for a reason, right?
Yeah, this is, I think the Hordeling Outburst play is what I would have made last game, and I think Hicks was correct going for the Rabble Master.
Yep. Battlefield Forge. Is Walker flooding badly, or is he trying to set Hicks up? I think maybe he was trying to set Hicks up a little bit. Here's an Anger of the Gods.
I mean, it's good that Walker has this, though Hicks has already gotten a lot of mileage out of Jace being in play for several turns.
I think maybe he was trying to catch a Mantis Rider in that sweeper as well. And Hicks would simply not cooperate.
Yeah, the issue is that there's very little incentive for Hicks to tap out and add to the board because he's already ahead.
Here's a dig through time. Looks like he's going to be pushing further ahead. Top 7, taking 2 with him. Another dig through time in there, a Jeskai Charm, Lightning Strike, a lot of options here for Hicks.
And it feels like all you want in this matchup is more copies of dig through time because things are just going to be trading a bunch. Especially with both players at 18, you know, we're still pretty early on in the game. If I'm Hicks, I'm not turning down dig through time. Even if I'm not able to cast it for several turns, I want it eventually.
Looks like he thought about taking Jeskai Charm. I'm going to push that to the bottom with the other 5 cards. So he's found 2 cards that he's happy with. Hicks will draw now. Dragonlord Ochitai is in here now. Okay. Curious to see if he'll cast it.
I don't mind it. You know there's no Disdainful Stroke out there because he would have countered the Dig Through Time. He doesn't have Ojitai's command mana up right now. This is not a bad spot.
Looks like he's going to go with Mantis Rider instead. With the necessary mana to cast another one, too. I'll have to say 2 to do so, but double Mantis Rider isn't a bad spot to be in. Come across here for 6. We'll see if Walker has some sort of answer to one of them.
Well, if you're going to cast one, I like casting both because there's a good chance Walker has something like Lightning Strike in his hand, so you might as well get in some damage here.
Yep.
Walker with 2 copies of Anger of the Gods in the sideboard here. Very good if he has the 2nd copy right now, but again, Hicks taking a pretty aggressive line, willing to make some risks here.
Jeskai Charm going to put one of those on top. If you're Hicks, you got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you don't want Walker untapping and casting Anger of the Gods. If he's trading 1 for 1 with the Mantis Rider, you're happy there.
There's Soulfire Grandmaster. This is a Jace. And I believe that will be Walker's turn. He'll play a Shivan Reef as well. Hicks will draw the Mantis Rider. He'll play the Mantis Rider, come across here for 6 in the air. Walker going to fall down to 9. Soulfire Grandmaster here in Stephen Hicks' hand. Another copy of Dig Through Time. We know about Dragonlord Ochitai. He'll go with Soulfire Grandmaster past the turn back. Walker going to take a draw step here. Certainly could use some help. Mantis Riders are really beating him down.
Burn spell here would be excellent here for Walker.
Yep.
Get rid of the Mantis Rider. Gain some life through Soulfire Grandmaster. Has enough mana where it's something like Lightning Strike. He can rebuy it, really start getting something going.
Here's Dragonlord Ochitai. Not bad. Can't be unhappy with it. Disdainful Stroke to draw here for Hicks. A little late. Now keep in mind, Noah Walker does have a copy of Anger of the Gods in the graveyard that he can flash back if Jace Telepath Unbound shows up in combination with Soulfire Grandmaster, could wipe the board, gain a bunch of life, and be left over with a Dragonlord Ochitai. So a lot working in Noah Walker's favor right now if he can get to it.
And that's why I was surprised that Hicks didn't just Alpha Strike that turn, because I think the board getting clogged up like this is very favorable for Noah. He's going to be able to engineer this Anger of the Gods soon, wipe Hicks's board, and have Dragonlord Ochitai left over.
Hicks going to play something here. Looks like it's going to be an Ochitai's command. Looking to get back a Jace and draw a card, perhaps. Start filtering the hand. Ochitai's command's really good. So
yes,
there's Jace. Draw a card, untap, take a draw. Temple of Triumph, Shivan Reef. Those are the last 2 draws there for Hicks. So lands, one of them's a temple, so that's never bad. Gonna play that temple. Trigger, scry to the bottom very quickly. And now activate Jace. Looks like Dig Through Time was the draw.
And even though, you know, again, it's awkward, I'm not giving up on Dig Through Time in this matchup. Game's gonna go on for a long time.
Yeah, even though the first game didn't, I think that's kind of an outlier.
Post-board, both these decks get more removal. You see Noah with Anger of the Gods. He's brought in some sweepers. I'd be willing to bet both of these players have at least 1 copy of Elspeth in their deck. Dig Through Time becomes much more important post-board. It's already very good.
Speaking of which, Dig Through Time going to be hit with a Disdainful Stroke. Hicks can actually take the opportunity to resolve his Dig Through Time right now if he'd like. Jace going to go active. Looks like the activation is on the stack. Now Noah Walker will discard. Take a draw step. Activate Jace. See what Stephen Hicks has here. Looks like he's going to dig through time now.
Wouldn't surprise me if Hicks was on the hunt for Wild Slash here in response to this Jace activation. Get the Jace off the table.
I think he may have found a Wild Slash.
Yeah, he needs to prevent this Anger of the Gods flashback from occurring.
Yep. Magma Spray's there too. There's your removal spell. Hicks knew exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah, set that up very well. Because if Noah gets to flip the Jace there and flash back into the gods, Hicks is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
As it stands, things are looking pretty solid. Now the concern is still Soulfire Grandmaster on the other side of the table. If he finds something like Lightning Strike, he can start buying that back, whittling down these Menace Riders, getting in a position to attack with Dragon Lord Ojutai. So Hicks is not in the clear by any stretch, but he's avoided the worst of it for now.
There's Wild Slash. A little surprised to see no rebuy there.
You know, he's still got a lot of mana left over, so there's... I would not be surprised if the card in Noah's hand was Negate or Disdainful Stroke. That would justify leaving up the 6 mana here and not using Soulfire Grandmaster. Because rebuying a Negate or Disdainful Stroke is a lot juicier.
Here's Dragon Lord Ojutai. Oh, here's looks like an activation on Soulfire Grandmaster. And it's actually a copy of Ojutai's command.
Okay, also something to do with a lot of mana.
Yep.
Same deal.
Here's a Soulfire Grandmaster activation. Is it Lightning Strike time? It is. Hey, Lightning Strike will take care of Soulfire Grandmaster.
And I'm surprised that Hicks sat on his heels there, because he allowed Noah to buy this back basically for free. Had an opportunity just to use it when Walker tapped out last turn for the Ojutai's command, or effectively tapped out.
Lightning Strike's going to take care of the other Mantis Rider, and now it's time for Dragon Lord Ojutai to get to work, I think.
Very well set up here by Walker.
Walker looks like he's found a card that he's happy with. Just kind of shuffling between the other two. To Hicks will go.
With 7 mana and the graveyard as sized as it is, I think Hicks has the ability to cast Dig Through Time and Dragon Lord Ojutai this turn.
Makes for a pretty healthy turn. Take a look at the top 7. Stoke the Flames is a nice, clean answer to that Dragon Lord Ojutai, so that's a nice find there for Stephen Hicks.
Yeah, Rending Volley as well.
Yep.
Good pickup. So Dragon Lord Ojutai this turn and said he can go Rending Volley with buyback.
I don't hate that.
Pretty attractive.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Just gonna normal cast it.
I think I would have preferred a buyback
I'm
there.
a little surprised to see no buyback there, yeah.
Especially Rending Volley. I mean, that's a premium removal spell in this matchup. Kills Dragon Lord Ojutai, no questions asked. Mantis Rider, Jace, what have you.
Uncounterable as well.
Yeah, it's just...
there's a lot of upside there.
I think Hicks wanted the option to cast Stoke the Flames.
There's Anger of the Gods. Dig Through Time in response to the Soulfire Grandmaster activation. Walker's got some fight left in him.
These anchors have been a little unwieldy for Walker.
Yeah.
He's been able to set them up to not be horrible, but they have not been pulling a lot of weight for, you know, a card out of the sideboard.
Well, the delving has taken place. Now it's time for the digging to take place.
And I think there, if I'm, this is in response to the activation, I was going to say. So Noah on the hunt for something like Negate to be able to counter whatever spell's about to come out of Hicks.
Another Dig Through Time has been found here by Walker, Bramaz as well. Not rebuying that Rendy volume might really come back to hurt Hicks. That's a really useful tool in this matchup.
Yeah, especially against Walker's build, that also has Bramaz. I mean, Redding Volley is great for that threat as well.
Dig through time to unresolving. Stoke is going to go upstairs.
So now Walker's had an effective 1, going to 5 here, with Stoke left over in Hicks's hand.
He's still got that Dragonlord Ojutai too. Now, there are ways for Walker to gain life. A card like Ojutai's command works just fine. The follow-up is another dig. Very powerful card.
Things trade so easily and so quickly in this matchup post-board that these digs feel like they're just always on the super cheap. This is also a matchup where selection's at the premium, because early on you prioritize having cheap removal, maybe your sweepers, and later on you want a different class of cards. You want counter spells and Dragonlord Ojutai, so the selection feels very, very valuable in this matchup too.
Long dig through time here for Walker, but it's understandable. He's in a pretty tough spot right now.
This is a tough spot. And an upside here for Hicks is that a burn spell will kill Noah, most likely, and he's set up the coast to be clear for his Dragonlord Ojutai.
I believe the Mantis Rider is exactly what the doctor ordered. Yep. And that's going to do it. That in combination with the Stoke the Flames that's left over will get the job done. Hold on, maybe it's over.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I thought that was an early concession, because it's like, you got to at least make him cast the Stoke the Flames.
Yeah.
You could easily have Negate here or Disdainful Stroke.
Okay. Yeah, I think he thought he had Stoke the Flames still. I don't think he does for some reason.
No, the Stoke is still in Hicks's hand. I like this play a lot from Hicks, because Noah has one of 2 cards potentially, Disdainful Stroke or Negate.
Okay.
And in both scenarios, you're better off casting Dragonlord Ojutai.
Yep.
Because you want to keep the Stoke in your hand, and he can't negate Dragonlord Ojutai.
Sure. So an awkward early handshake.
Yes. And I think Noah has Disdainful Stroke in hand.
Yeah.
So a slightly early concession there. Pulled it back.
And now he's going to concede the game. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because he's got Disdainful Stroke for the Stoke the Flames, but he's in the hard lock kind of from the creatures. So
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter very much. So there we go. An early handshake, but a handshake nonetheless. Steven Hicks going to win this match here.